Yo, I put it like wow, this that sound. These oaks don't work hard like me, I hope they know by now. Bale, stand my ground. Bro, these money trees go overseas like Percy Tau. I'll make sure you stay around, quiet when I'm under loud. No negatives allowed, me positivity took a vow. I always play to win, don't anticipate loss. Mind always in the clown, my boy. Never think about the drop, never ever ever think about the drop.
Welcome to it, sports fans. It is time for the long lunch. It's Friday, which is good for some, not so good for others. If you, I don't know, hate your girlfriend or your boyfriend and now you have to spend 2 days in a row with them, not a good day. If you like your, I don't know, your house, you just redid your house, it's a good day because you're going to spend more time in a place that's now painted mint green, which is a color from what I've heard. Rich people always do this. I got Paulo Diaz in here. He's extremely Portuguese, extremely great, looking extremely good. Obviously the swag on point. Paulo, what is with this thing of putting sort of a prefix for colors, which is ridiculous? Like, I don't know, like
Cubanite silver.
You know, ammonite green, or whatever.
I have this challenge. My wife sees colors for what they really are. So she says to me, my wife's in design, she's artistic, and she sees colors for what they really are. These are actual words came out of her mouth into my ears. My dear wife says this to me. You must imagine what it's like going to get paint with her.
Oh my God.
I'll be like, oh, I'm trying to be like the guy.
Yeah.
I want carbonite green, you know.
Yeah.
She's like, that's blue. I'm like, oh, what about this asinine yellow?
Yeah.
And she said, oh no, that's red. So she sees colors. I think she understands the soul of colors.
That's what it is.
And the person, the color, the journey the color took to become the color.
I got you.
And that's how she interprets it. Because I see green and she sees joy.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
But she's a way deeper person than me, much better person than me. Actually has a physical heart in her chest.
Yeah.
Mine's just a lump of coal. But this is my challenge in life.
Yeah. So you and I, are we living the same?
Blue, red, green, yellow. That's all I need.
Black and white.
Black and white. That's all I need.
RCB.
No, I don't need asinine blue.
Yeah. I mean,
imagine Cubanite silver.
Tanqueray blue. Sends it to how are you doing, Paul? Oh, you're wearing a ravenous red.
It's the last day of this tumultuous week.
For like I said to the guys before, for now. It's still another game. Might be an FA Cup game.
It's a book. It's a to be continued.
Yeah, and you are incapable of keeping your mouth shut.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And it'll land you in trouble again.
That's true. What do you say about that feedback? I mean, you've been blaming the guys quite a bit. Maybe it's on you.
Nah, I took it on the chin.
There it is. Took it on the chin, and now you're wearing a Liverpool shirt.
Mane as well. It's a Mane shirt.
I know. What happens if Liverpool win the league? Are you guys co-perching then with them?
What do you mean?
Because do they go to
Yeah,
20?
they'll go to 20.
Both on
It's a
20.
co-perch situation, huh? Senzo, you look so uncomfortable in that Liverpool shirt, and I love it.
Sure. It hurts. Like, every time I look in the mirror.
Every time I try to leave, someone keeps pulling me back.
And
Hey,
it stinks.
It reeks, eh?
have you ever been...
It's not you. It came in.
It's the shirt, huh?
Came in hot.
Have you ever been this... Because you probably feel alone in that shirt, you know? Like, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, Paulo can't even help me with this one. Like,
No one can help you. No one can...
I told you, it's like you guys stripped me naked and you're saying, haha, look at his penis.
James, this
That's
guy feels...
unresolved. That's an unresolved thing that just came out
Yeah,
there, hey?
yeah. No, that's...
That is latent.
No. Because the thing is, like, when you're naked, you bear it all.
Yeah.
So that's what you guys are.
So, but...
Not only have you stripped me down,
Yes.
you're pointing fingers and you're laughing.
And you know what my take to another level? If we brought tweezers. Oh.
And one of those tiny little rulers.
Yeah.
A 10 centimeter ruler.
And a
Said, we
microscope.
got enough, yeah.
The microscope.
enough, yeah.
Magnifying glass.
Oh, yeah. We bought binoculars.
And
Yeah, just like, all right, well, you know.
if you really want to be a dick, bring a thing. Telescope.
One of those old school ones. James, sense of feeling alone. It's all your fault. I mean, he's wearing a Liverpool shirt. Does he look good? Does he look like Sadio Mane? Because he does have sort of a darker tinge than I have as well. So it probably helps you think, oh, there's Sadio Mane in the studio.
That's what happens when you talk a big game.
Oh, shouldn't have been talking smack.
Oh, now all of a sudden you're honest, Abe.
There it is. Hey, James. James, imagine they lose to Spurs this weekend. Oh my goodness.
So a lot of people have actually been saying to me, right, that it's a mean for me to continue with this bet. Mm-hmm. And my thing is
Bet's a bet.
A bet's a bet.
that, and if you're gonna get loud,
But, James, am I not sure? Did I not?
I am proud of you. I'm proud of you for doing it.
The guy's proud of you, Senzo. What do you want?
I gotta say, listen, we hear bets like this all the time, right?
yeah.
United, Liverpool supporters always doing these things. I don't see many people actually going through with it.
Yes, it is.
Lots of guys will find a get out,
Yes.
double or nothing.
Yeah.
For Senzo to do it is like, that's huge. You get the bet, you don't get the resolution.
And to make things better, Senzo has been going along with the new hashtags every day.
Yeah.
That I have been giving the show. Today was Senzo in red.
Senzo in red. You probably want to change that, James, if you actually want to be in 2021. It's Senzo in sultry red. It's the only red that you can wear, apparently, on the internet. I mean, we don't need a prefix for the colors are already there. We know.
Crimson red.
Maybe I need to feel like Paolo's. You know what? My problem is I have no heart. I'm not like Paolo's wife. Makes sense. She's in love with you. She stayed. You have a family. You need a heart for a family.
I want to ask you something though while we're talking about this, and since you're feeling a little bit sensitive.
Yeah.
I heard that you got a gift pack this
Lord.
morning.
You know what? Let's talk about that.
Do we have time?
Let's talk about that on the other side. All right, today, Friday 5, it's obviously Man United El Sacico, they're calling it. El Sacico, it is Man United Spurs. I'll give you my 5 greatest Spurs players of all time in the Premier League. Obviously, I'm 35, not 95. I don't know the guys who were milkmen back in the day who played for Spurs. So I will give you my top 5 greatest Spurs players. And boy, oh boy, what a game that's going to be. 6:30 Central African time tomorrow. And then we'll look at the Premier League fixtures, the rest of them. Is anybody else playing? Does it matter at this stage? Everybody's supporting Spurs from what I can read on social media this weekend. And then Flip Van Mava in the house. He will be probably at a coffee shop. We'll tell you why a little bit later. It's called a tease in the biz. What I just did there, it's a tease. Anyway, if you are looking for the podcast, a lot of people saying, where can I get the podcast? I want the podcast because I like to run on treadmills and also I go for a walk or whatever. I'm playing golf. I'm trying to avoid my wife on Saturday mornings. These are the things that I get, and that's what golf is, right? Is you can get it on cliffcentral.com, the Cliff Central app, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. If you want to hear how aligned my chakras are, stay with us on the other side, MKT Show. our floor guy is wearing forgiving green. Forgiving green. And you can't call me ridiculous, because that's how I feel. So don't call me ridiculous for saying forgiving green. I feel that he's wearing forgiving green.
Then the saying green with envy doesn't make any sense then.
So you're saying it's all a mess. So we should just say green, is what you're saying.
It's like in Zulu though. In Zulu, like it's weird.
What's that? Let's hear it.
So green is oluhlaza. Mm-hmm. Do you know what blue is?
What's that?
Oluhlaza njengesibhakabhaka. Green like the sky,
Yeah.
if you directly translate it.
Yeah. So there you have it, you know? There's that, Paulo. So
I've heard that. I've experienced it.
Yeah. What, when you went to Durban on holiday?
I have heard it.
Oh.
Apparently, it was one of the problems with in South Africa. We have a network called Vodacom,
Yeah.
and in the early days, their logo was blue and green.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons they
changed
looked
it,
to
yeah.
change it. Yeah.
Every day's a school day, since I didn't know that story, by the way. I mean, I'm not trying to one-up Paulo, but I did know
But
that
it's also
story.
like in Afrikaans. So in English, an orange
Yeah?
is the fruit, and it's also the color.
Yes.
And orange in Afrikaans is a lemoen,
Yeah?
and then the color is oranje.
So, James, you maybe want to explain that on behalf of Afrikaans people, even though I know obviously you have no idea, but just your thoughts.
And not about Orania, the place.
Yeah, not the
James.
place. Obviously,
I hope
I
he
know
hasn't
that's where
been
you
there.
want to maybe move to one day. But,
No, that's not fair.
no, that's not true. That's not true.
That's not fair at all.
What do you mean? Why don't you want to go to Oranje?
That's just. Anyway, so the reason why us Afrikaans people have done the orange thing is because we don't do things by the book. We like to stand. I don't know. You're asking the wrong
I knew
person.
you wouldn't know. It was a waste of time. And I mean, to ask you to represent the Afrikaans community is unfair on the Afrikaans community, not on you, actually. So I put you in a position to fail there, James. That was wrong of me.
De oomblik was te groot.
Verstaan jy, James?
Why has James moved? He's sitting in a different place. It's bothering me.
All right, folks.
I need, it's thrown me off because I need to visualize the show so I can be a perfect performer, right?
Paulo,
And now I visualize him in a different place.
if this doesn't throw you off,
Yeah.
But I visualized it.
Yeah, he already knew. Yeah.
See, I visualized it like Wayne Rooney used to ask the kit man what like kits all the teams are playing in before. So at night he could think about all the prostitutes wearing those kits.
my man, that sounds like something David Beckham would do. Wow.
No, so he could visualize.
Yes.
So I visualized that, but I didn't visualize James in that place. So now I'm done.
Right, James. I mean, you've destabilized Paulo, possibly the whole show there. You've moved. I mean, what's going on back there? Are you confused? Is left and right really that hard?
Yeah. Actually,
James is at the wheel.
It's gonna be one of those days.
One of those, huh? Are you dehydrated? Earlier, Paulo was telling me hydration has everything to do with neural synapses firing.
the neural what?
Well,
These are the
no,
things-
you're
Don't-
focusing on the wrong part of the question.
Whoa, don't hurt yourself.
Are you hydrated? Okay, sorry. I asked the question wrong.
Are you
there.
parched?
Yeah. Is there a thirst in your life?
And not to do with girls.
No.
Was that a
why?
thirst trap?
Ooh.
Yeah. Now, James, what do you mean why? I've just explained to you. Oh, sorry. I didn't explain.
Yeah. So apologize first before you start explaining.
Well, I did explain. I just wish the Saint Stidians had maybe given you a dictionary.
Okay,
in grade 10.
listen. Before you get all like hyped up and stuff on a Friday,
Yeah.
align your chakras and then we'll talk.
Speaking of which, great transition there, Jimbo. This morning, I got the most incredible video. Or, in fact, I got a gift, right? So, lady called, now I've forgotten her name, but Mulholland's her surname, right? Anyway, so her husband's really famous Scottish guy. Forget what his name is. Crash Boom Bang, also big time talker, speaker guy. Mulholland, he's doing it in South Africa and globally. And she said, Rich Mulholland.
Right.
That's her husband, yeah. Although,
Rich Mulholland.
now it's
Lovely.
wrong that I'd forgotten her and now she's just his wife. Now, obviously, there's a situation
You're
there.
a bigot.
I should remember what her name is. You know what I mean? So anyway, she was on the Gareth Cliff show on Wednesday. So it's 2 days ago. We're chatting. Boom, boom, boom. She's an artist for real. She does high-end art and blah, blah, blah. And on the show, she reveals herself as things like Sagittarius and Leo mean something to her. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that starts
Which is triggering for you.
It was tough, but I'm a professional. I stayed calm. I stayed respectful. I think we made it through the show. She had good energy, so she brought me
Her
around.
name not Jess.
Jessica.
I think Barrett said Jessica. I think
Jessica
I heard it
Mulholland. No.
say- No.
Jasmine.
Jasmine.
Her name had to be Jasmine.
Well, what do you mean by that now?
Her name had to be Jasmine.
Why?
Yeah, why did it have to be Jasmine?
Yeah, what do you mean, Senzo? You have to explain. You can't just say that.
Because you say she's into chakras and all that.
Okay, and the name Jasmine?
Probably, yeah.
Are jasmines usually into chakras
could
and
be
stuff?
it could be a color.
Yeah.
Smell the jasmines.
So you're suggesting...
And the ylang.
So are you suggesting parents should name their kids for what they're going to be?
I
Don't you guys
It's nominative
remember?
determinism, they
I
call
don't
it.
know.
Yeah, that's a... By the way, big drop there. James, you've got no clue what's happening.
I don't know, because a lot of people are named Prince.
Yeah.
And
Dress for the job you want.
No, but it's-
Senzo,
yes, but
did you not watch Aladdin? I
Aladdin.
believe wasn't the princess named Jasmine?
Yes.
I know that it was pretty... Like,
So, I mean...
There are a lot of
not
people
this-
named Jasmine.
what?
So-
What are we doing here now?
What are you trying to, what are you inferring, Ron?
No, you're asking why Jasmine, but I'm saying... Like, it's an easy name to remember from, like, the Princess Jasmine.
I like how...
I think
Completely
it's-
different point than
It's
Ryan's.
too easy for them to turn on the microphones.
Yeah, that's
You know what I
what's
feel?
You offer,
Yeah.
you offer
It's also way too easier for us to turn your microphones off.
off. No, sure. It's Ryan's completely speaking about. He might as well be on a different show there, actually, because the Jasmine thing was about, you know,
because
sort
you're
of
speaking about colors before
yeah,
and
chakras
chakras
and Jasmine is one of those names. But Ryan's completely talking about Aladdin now. Abu's the monkey. Hey there,
Abu, yes.
Abu.
So, but I want to hear about the rest of your gift box.
So the gift box it arrived this morning. I'm a little bit shocked. Like, okay, weird. I wasn't expecting the package. And sitting there, a lady called Simpiwe, who works with us on the other side. She pops in, and I open the box, and in it is not only did there was what we would call impepu or white or sage.
Wild sage.
Two different types though. There's white sage. I don't know what the other original one is, or whatever you call that. My favorite part is that there was a packet of crystals though, which was incredible stuff. So
And there was chocolate. There was some sort of like
yeah,
new age chocolate.
well, the chocolate's fine. Like that's its own thing, right? Like there's a vegan, anti-vegan. But I just want to stick to the gifts themselves. That's one thing. Obviously, I completely dismiss all of that nonsense. Okay, but whatever. It's a gift. I got to pretend to be professional.
Did you, when you spoke to her yesterday on the show, did you express this?
Yes. No.
Okay,
Very
you
clearly.
expressed this.
I
Crystal clear. Were you crystal
I
clear?
was crystal clear.
So this is not now you like in a safe space, you're having a go. When you spoke, you said, this is not my vibe. And she's now trying to say, look, give it a try.
No, well, she's more taking the piss.
Having a
actually.
joke, right.
She's really...
Good for good on her.
She's
Well done.
moving
Good.
and grooving.
Awesome.
She's moving and grooving.
Good for, because then she gets it, because I mean, I think we've all met those people, and then there are some that are like, they want to force this on you,
Yeah.
and others that go, well, listen, this is what I believe in. Here's a joke, lol. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
No,
Right,
full on
right.
taking the mickey. But that's not the best part about it. Now, what she doesn't realize, so I sent it to the Cliff Central team as like a, look what happened, you know, we're in content, boom, boom, boom. Oh my Lord.
Blew up.
So there's a new lady called Lebang who works there. Barrett, who we all know works there. I think one of the big bosses is a little bit into it as well. She's like super. Now it's open for them to go, yeah, we should burn that sage for a new energy.
Now it's a safe place.
Barrett now says, oh, we should totally open up the room with it or whatever. And now it's actually a part of my work life with people I work with. And now what do I do? Now I'm trapped as the only thing I can be is a bad person. So I just ignored the messages in the work group. Eventually, one of our colleagues and of course co-host on the 80s show, Dori von Logrenberg, saved me. She says, I'll take whatever you don't want. That's the whole box, Dori. You're about to get the whole box.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm a victim here, big time.
I think this is where some of the blessings that we kind of forget as we like transition back to going back into offices and things like that of what we miss from work from home.
Yeah.
Because offices, there are weird things going on.
Yeah.
There's always somebody with a thing. There's always somebody putting fish in a microwave. There's always somebody with a thing. and
Unbelievable.
we actually forget those.
Yeah.
You forget what offices can be, what bullying, terrible nightmare environments they are.
Yeah.
you know?
Yes.
If you're on the podcast, I'm busy pointing my finger towards the little
Your thumb.
the bully corner.
Your
Yeah.
thumb. What James can't do.
my boss finger
Yeah, that's it.
at the little control room of smut over there.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they are the two
You call them
guys.
smut. That's Friday.
Smut.
You look at that on the left there. It may be confusing to
Oh,
viewers.
certified lover boy.
People like consistency. Ryan, it isn't black and white.
I'm going to say something controversial. If anyone believes in white privilege, just look at those two.
Wow! And on that note, careful, Ryan. Careful, Ryan. Careful, Ryan.
Boy, oh boy.
Choose your next words wisely.
Boy, oh boy. I mean,
Whoa!
hey. Wowzers, huh? That's from Paulo Diaz. It's going to get you. It's Friday. We're
said
back
it.
at offices now.
I said it.
You know?
The long weekend. People are foaming at the mouth.
Guys are voting on Monday. Absolutely incredible. Yondan Digi says, it's Friday, fellas. I hope your day is as shiny and smooth looking as Paulo's head.
Litwari.
Best entertaining sports show in the universe. Senzo, just remember, James would have worn the jersey for 209 years. I mean, at this stage, you have to say to yourself, why is Yonda, who seems like a smart person, spending 2 hours with us? Because that does worry me for the fabric of our society, Paolo. I've got to tell you, we've got incredibly smart people watching this show, just so you know.
I know.
So because we are their joy.
Oh, it's a release.
It's a release.
Dumb
I
it
don't
down.
get the 209 years thing.
Hey.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
All right.
Who knows, you know? Or 29 years. Could have been...
If the problem is that you don't understand the reference,
Yes.
you're the problem.
James, just your thoughts on that.
How many of you guys understand the 209
Well,
year
it's not
reference?
about us. What
So
do we...
the curse is broken. We're talking about sage and white sage.
Yeah.
So 209 years till the curse is broken. Haven't you heard of the curse of Blythe Manor?
But that comment was posted like 4 hours before we started speaking about Sage.
This is a
Hey.
person that admires my shiny head, James.
Yep.
Sorry, you're right. That means they are right in all forms,
Yes.
shapes, and
Not
contexts.
everything's about you, James.
I
Not
just wanted to see if someone knew what the 209
No,
years
we
meant.
know.
We know.
We know.
We
We're
know.
fine.
We know.
It's not about you.
We get it.
I find it hard to believe that you
What
guys
the whole
know.
world's about you now. Okay, stop the presses, everyone. Let's stop the New York Stock Exchange. James is feeling. He doesn't know. What are we doing?
I just thought you guys had answers. I asked a question. I thought you had answers.
James, you can't grow up in a world where it's all about you. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, I can't wake up on a Tuesday and wonder what James is doing. I got my own stuff to do. What if I got to go jump in the shower? Now I got to wait 5 minutes while I think about
If
how's
James-
James feeling about a comment, about our listeners, people who give up their time. That's why you're behind the glass, James. It's not about our listeners for you, is it?
They use their data. They
Listen,
use their data
they
for
do.
us.
James is eventually going to get it. He's going to do that thing. Oh.
You know what's happened is our show...
Let's let it percolate.
Yeah, it's fine. But James, I got to tell you something as well, even though you don't care because it's about a listener, right? And it has to be about you. But I have to tell you this, Jimbo. I don't know if you guys know this, but our show is now in some sort of internal office networks. There's a guy called Zapeta who's been one of our day ones.
That's wild.
At his office, by the way, we're now we're in the same category as pornography. He can't watch us live at work. I don't know if you guys are aware that
Yeah.
this is how we're
He's been
rolling.
flagged.
It's because of sexy Senza. That's
That's
why.
what happened. And also maybe the day, Paolo, where you were doing a bet and you did say, I'm
said
going to whip my willy out.
You whipped your willy out.
I said I would, but
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't.
you didn't. Yeah.
How clever are these algorithms?
But it's also Senzo saying it's like I'm naked and you guys are pointing at my penis. But that probably doesn't help.
And also, Yonda does... not Yonda, Zapeta. I imagine that he's a serious professional.
No,
yeah,
absolutely.
he's got a. Yeah,
He's a serious professional. So midday when he's canning himself,
Yeah.
and there's no work being done there,
I see what
he
you're
is
saying.
because I've seen his Twitter profile picture. Looks smart, black and white.
Yes.
The man's professional. Nice haircut.
Yeah.
slicker than your average.
Oh my God. And now he's at an investment banking office heckling from 12 till 2. They think, geez, how well are the markets doing? Little do they know, he's listening to a guy in a Liverpool shirt saying, you guys think I'm naked.
I feel like Judas is
I
scary.
know,
You do, eh?
guys, I know why we were flagged as pornographic content.
Oh boy.
It's because word on the street is the Man United Liverpool game was actually uploaded to Pornhub.
Oh my gosh. No Lube FC, hey?
What's that? Pornhub. What's that?
Oh, James, yeah.
Sorry?
Oh,
Educate us.
okay, no,
What
fine.
is that?
You know, that seems funny. The guys just want to know what's
don't get it.
Pornhub.
What is that?
It's a tough crowd. I'm over it. We got a Friday 5.
Okay. Alrighty, Jimbo. Welcome. Give me that music. It is Friday.
You go sit in the naughty corner.
Yeah, James, a little bit trapped there. His lady lives in the northwest on a farm. She is Afrikaans, probably Christian, and she wouldn't want him knowing about that. James claims he has no clue what that is. All he does is hold hands with his lady, but he knows what Pornhub is. I mean, it's a confusing world. It's a confusing time. And if you're a Manchester United fan, it is a tough time. But tough times never last.
Only tough people.
All right, Tottenham were good ones. By the way, I do have to say I'm a little bit biased. They paid me way too much money for about 14 months when I was younger, and they allowed me to live a life like no other as a under 21 player there. But they are a bunch of losers, I've got to say this. But they've had great players. And I'm going to give you the 5 greatest players as we lead into Spurs United's weekend. At number 5, Spurs Player of the Year, 2006-2007. PFA Team of the Year in that very same year. Probably top 3 best first touches in league history, at least in the Premier League era. At number 5, the Bulgarian monster that is Dimitar Berbatov. This guy was, for you youngsters, boy, oh boy, oh boy. This guy, the complete package. And it felt like he would never sweat on the football pitch. This guy. The first touch, silk, absolutely brilliant Bulgarian player. Dimitar Berbatov went on to Manchester United, an unprecedented success. He got 30 goals in the league one season. Superb player. At number 4, a guy who could have been on a GQ cover or played football, actually. And even now, he's just a Lothario he's developed into. 98-99, he's in the PFA Team of the Year. He's the Football Writers Player of the Year. He's the Players Player of the Year. Pace, power, and relentless. Gareth Bale, before Gareth Bale, he demanded 2 markers in his time. Just an awesome force for the few years he was at Spurs. At number 4, David Ginola. Some player, this guy. Listen, they say there are few players in the world that are worth the admission price alone. He's one of them. In the history of football, he is one of them. Some player. At number 3, they call him, Senzo mentioned, Judas Iscariot. Well, this guy is viewed that way by Spurs fans. He was in the Team of the Year in 98-99. He's the best ever centre-back they've ever had. He is. Like, listen, for 10 years, he's maybe was the best of the English ones. He really was top-end defender. For me, one of the greatest the Premier League's ever seen. At number 3, the great and maverick-like Sol Campbell. I love this guy. I love him. And you can see that he does have he's got no shortage of confidence, by the way, this guy. Absolutely none whatsoever. At number 2, 5 times he's been in the Team of the Year. He's won the Golden Boot 3 times already. He's won the Playmaker and the top goals. Of course, the Golden Boot in one season. Almost impossible to do. Terrible agent, high-end striker. Terrible agent. His mom's forced him into the situation. At number 2, and still rising, the one and only Harry Kane. He's the second best player they've ever had. I mean, Harry's on his way to greatness, right? He is. The numbers are out of this world. He'll be a Tottenham great. Will he ever be a Premier League great? It'll be tough because I think it's too late for him to win a Premier League title, and Steven Gerrard never won a title, and I'm not sure Gerrard is considered in the top 5 greatest players the Premier League's ever had, purely because he didn't win it. But Harry's numbers, highly impressive. It's like Matt Letizia at a slightly nicer club. At number 1, I'm not even going to waste time with stats. Listen, there was that last season before he left to go and help Cristiano Ronaldo actually learn how to win a Champions League. He was probably the greatest force I'd seen in the Premier League, maybe since Ginola himself, maybe since Thierry Henry. And listen, okay, Henry's an anomaly, but there was that last season, this guy was untouchable. And just for that season, because he did it 2 seasons in a row, the stats don't matter. The greatest player Tottenham have ever had is Gareth Bale, and it's not close. Like, stop it. The Harry Kane thing, Harry, the numbers, I get it. But this guy, and if you just be honest, you have to be honest with yourself. This guy, for the last 2 seasons that he played at Tottenham, he made Tim Sherwood look like Pep Guardiola. That's what happened. That is what happened with this guy. Just unplayable, pace, power, finishing, and all the time. I mean, those Leo Messi style goals from the halfway line were starting to become his regularity. At number 1, a man who I don't know if he goes down as a football great though overall, just because the last 3-4 years have become so messy for him. It's become ugly, but he's certainly a Tottenham great, and he did help them go 3 in a row. Ronaldo could not win a Champions League without him. And Ronaldo had lots of help, by the way. So Ronaldo mustn't tell me I didn't have help. He had world-class guys, and then this guy arrived. He scored that goal against Barcelona in the Copa del Rey, and well, the rest is history. I mean, he scored probably the greatest Champions League final goal you'll ever see. I believe it is better than Zidane's one by quite a bit, actually. Gareth Bale, that bicycle kick, for me, is the greatest I've ever seen. Although, who's the AC Milan guy, Paulo, who scores the Serbian bloke? I think it's Serbian or Croat. There's an incredible bicycle kick the AC Milan guy scores in the Champions League final as well. When you say it,
which Champions League final?
Old AC Milan 90s, Arrigo Sacchi times.
I'm thinking either not
some itch. It'll come to
okay, we'll get the name. Yeah. Let me get a name.
Yeah, it's that or Bale. But for me, Berbatov, Ginola, Sol Campbell, Harry Kane. I love Harry, and I think he's class. But I can't look past Bale.
For me, the goal that said, "I'm Gareth Bale," the one Copa del Rey final.
Yeah.
Where he was behind Mark Bartra. Mark Bartra.
Oh yeah.
And he got pushed out.
Yeah.
Onto the touchline. He was basically on the bench.
Yeah.
And Bartra just saw number 11 in front of him.
Yeah. And then he went and tucked it in as well. He didn't cross it.
No, that match where he retired Maicon 4 or 5 times.
Looking for a joke thrice. Say, hey, look.
That's at the San Siro, by the way. And Bale's what, 23?
And he's playing left back, yeah.
I think that's such a pity about Gareth Bale's fall off, because when you put him there as like number 1, and I know it's not categorized that way, because actually Gareth Bale was something else, and you actually watched him go up levels when he was at Tottenham.
Yeah.
You actually saw him
change gears,
just transforming. And then the first season or two at Real Madrid, and then to see where he is now, he almost like stayed at that level, and I don't know why. I don't know what it was.
Florentino Perez built a stand just so he could unveil Gareth Bale, the first €100 million player.
You know what it is again, this is what separates. So my favorite player of all time, Javier Zanetti. This is what separates guys like him and Maldini and Ronaldo and Messi. It's like, for Bale, for some people, and it seems that's his personality, is like, some people seek comfort. Is like, when he went to Real Madrid, okay, that's raw ability. Now you're 30 and things get shaky, and you're like, this is where Ronaldo, just stay here. And the tension and everything, with Bale, I just think it wore him down. He's the Prince of Wales. It's Real Madrid this side, it's Ronaldo this side, and it's on at Real Madrid. When you think of Maldini and Javier Zanetti, for me, just his career. You think of Ronaldo's career I'm at the top. I'm always on. It's always on. What's Ronaldo now? 36?
Yeah, I don't miss a beat.
And it's on. So for Bale, I don't know has it worn him down? Has football just worn him down?
Also, it could be also, it's very rare for a footballer to be at the top for longer than 5 years.
Well said.
It's very rare.
Yeah.
Because that guy, think about it. He went from hustling, trying to get into the Champions League group stages, to the next season winning it and winning it again and winning it again,
and being integral in that. That's hard. Like, people think it's a toll.
And lifting Wales.
Listen, it's not fun to win. Like, I think people think being around Ronaldo is just, hey, well, no. Every single day, Cristiano Ronaldo, when you do something brilliant, there's no congratulations. At Tottenham as well, he would have been hearing no negativity. He gets there, scores 2, and Ancelotti probably said, Gareth, get in here.
You're looking tired.
Well, you're not dropping. Let's watch this video. Gareth, this is the 76th minute. I know we 4-0 up. I noticed you didn't drop here. Here at Real Madrid. And
I know you're friends with Luka, but Luka mustn't do your job.
No, so these kinds of things may have been, I'm just presuming what has worn at this guy. But, at Tottenham, are you joking? Like that last season especially. When was the previous season he made Andre Villas-Boas look like Arrigo Sacchi? Hey?
Yeah, that's the 2010, where he retired Maicon, 2010-2011 season.
Yeah, and then Andre Villas-Boas' career was over.
Kaput.
Yeah, no, listen, when
but also, what did you say about David Ginola? That you have to pay the what?
Worth the admission price alone.
But, man, if your name is David Ginola, come on.
Isn't he the guy?
Come on.
Have you seen him lately as well? And he's got
Silver Fox.
And he's still, he's full on. No, I love that guy. He's box office. All right. On the other side, we'll talk Premier League fixtures. We'll hear what Paolo's got to say. Obviously, at the moment, he's going through a luscious lavender phase at home, so that's tough for him. I mean, probably trying to repaint the house, and it becomes a full Saturday morning thing. Tough stuff. Senzo Stebe in a Liverpool shirt. He is actually, I can hear his skin crawling from here. It's absolutely brilliant. We've got James in the back, who's never cared about anybody but himself on the show, actually. Now we have to wonder, is James just using us to propel himself to the next stage in his career? We don't know this. We thought he was all in, wants to help us on the show, but no. James is on his way to a new career. It's going to happen. The MKT Show. Plenty coming up on the other side. Michael Jackson was the king of pop. Just so you know. Yeah.
The king of popular music.
Popular music. Michael Jackson. Don't let kids sleep over is all I keep saying about Michael Jackson. I'm not that big a fan.
But have you seen his childhood?
What does that have to do with children sleeping in his house? No. We're not letting children sleep at our house.
Yeah. No, but that guy wasn't okay.
I think it's
Never
clear.
Neverland.
No, it's don't let kids sleep.
Because you thought he was Peter Pan, that's why.
What the hell were Macaulay Culkin's parents doing? Was it
don't know.
impossible to say no to MJ?
They didn't want to leave him home alone.
Oh
my God.
That.
I know it's like bad camera work to cover my face, but
No, it's not. It's completely understandable.
I have to show my emotion.
Oh my God.
Disgust at that.
He's not happy. Paolo's not happy.
Senzo, you lose your right to vote. You can't vote on Monday
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah,
You're
and-
no longer a democratic citizen.
There you have it. I mean, Paolo
removed
giving
it.
constructive feedback to Senzo there, who's in a Liverpool shirt. I mean, does it get any
It's
worse?
this shirt, man.
It's the shirt.
It is the shit. I blame
I'm
the shirt.
I'm short-circuiting.
I blame the shirt, not the man.
System,
All right.
system corrupt.
Yeah, era 404.
Beach ball, spinning beach ball.
It's gonna happen. Pepe Reina, shout out to you, trying to save it. Beach ball.
Declined. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Or avoid.
Yeah. No, it's declined. And those ladies, by the way, so if you're in South Africa, and you may be in Europe or elsewhere, is our service people, and part of our charm is that we're warm, right? We will communicate how we're feeling. And we're loud people, you know, we don't mind shouting. So it is quite bad when, I know how sensitive people get. Cuckoo, it's declined!
What's avoid? That was avoid.
It's declined. There's no money.
Yo. Now everybody knows.
Yeah. It's also like when you go, probably the toughest purchase in the world is what? Condoms, right?
Yeah. Ofuna mapi. Which ones?
No, but...
You want Wet and Wild? Trust, choice.
Yeah.
And you're just like, how?
No,
This is why I go to the clinic.
smart. But also the ladies won't just stop there. So let's say you know, they sell them in the shop. You can just... Once they get to the till, the ladies want to get involved in the conversation. Ooh, someone's getting lucky tonight.
Hey.
Yeah, Cindy. Wait, man. Just...
At least it was safe. Yeah, condomizer.
Yeah. It's safe at least. But don't know it. All right. I mean, you know, those are the phallic moments that you have at your local shopping store in Africa, in South Africa in particular. Right. Breaking news. Sky Sports still don't understand why their logo is pixelated. It doesn't make sense. It's probably the biggest sports organization this side of the Atlantic, and they can't actually load an H quality image. I mean, it's unbelievable. But Sky Sports, they are doing it. Maybe not all about their look, just about business. Breaking news, a Czech-based billionaire, and it makes sense here, and it's actually hilarious that he's Czech because of money. A Czech-based billionaire is within days of agreeing the purchase of a big stake in West Ham that could lead to a full takeover. Now,
Daniel Kretinsky.
He's only a billionaire. Come on.
yeah,
Trying to buy
oil does he have?
trying to buy 27%.
Of what's he gonna do? Compete with Norwich?
With his billions.
Yeah,
Do me a favor.
yeah.
We must be above Leicester now. We're challenging Leicester now.
Nah, because let's have all the money from Thailand.
West Ham are frightening as hell because the potential, there's always been potential,
Yeah.
like crazy passionate fans. And I did make a big shout at the beginning of the year. I wondered how their season would turn out because their fans are demanding and
Very.
they can turn very quickly. And they had a lot of their success in an empty stadium.
Yeah,
But the potential with that stadium, that fan base, money to burn, London based, if you're a player, you know, sort of like that, you know, not the top 20, but that sort of next level, you go Newcastle or West Ham playing and living in London, it becomes very interesting interesting conversation.
And from what you've said, right, when we think of England, I mean, globally, how they've sold it is that's actually the club. For Chelsea, for all they are,
Yeah.
West Ham is. Listen, that part of town is what you think
It's London, yeah.
London is. Because
Yeah.
nobody thinks investment banker when they think London. They go, oh, Aishan. You know what I mean? That's what they're
Yeah, bruv.
thinking. They're thinking Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Nobody is thinking Harvey Specter kind of England, you know, which is actually what England is.
Yeah.
Or not England, purely a part of London, most of London. It is the
The
final...
part owned by Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
and Russia.
And Russia.
And Russia. They own all the buildings in that part of town. Yes.
It's
So-
like two blocks.
Amanda Stavely, who sued Barclays, she did big business there where you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yes, the lady who is a Bond villain for sure.
She has to be.
For
She's definitely.
She is.
sure. She's weirdly good looking, extremely smart.
But she looks cold.
Well, I mean, she's dealing.
Come on.
She's
Mergers and acquisitions.
she was involved in the Man City deal. She's involved with the Saudis. She's a businesswoman, And that scares
She's
me.
a businessman.
I'll tell you what she's into. Making people suffer and taking your money. And that's Roman Abramovich. That's the Glazers. That's big time business. I love it. And I'm scared of her.
What do you think about a blank check?
Yeah. Or also, what do you think about possibly, if you don't do it, your children may have to go to Saudi Arabia and work on the oil fields? I think you're going to do the deal. I'm not saying she said that, but I'd imagine it's
Do you know what
coming.
she's like? Vito Corleone. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
James, you don't get that reference because you've never seen Godfather. And yeah, because, oh no, it's in black and white. Oh no.
No.
So James told me that Batman's better than Godfather.
Superman is Godfather.
I don't remember saying those words.
Superman is Godfather.
James, you told me that. But I don't
Probably
know.
the greatest one of the top 5 greatest movie characters of all time.
Superman?
No, Vito Corleone.
You know who that is, James?
I'm assuming from The Godfather.
Yeah, he's a guy who swallowed a fly once on a scene. Very, very famous. You can go and look that up on YouTube. Guy called Marlon Brando. Probably there is actually an acting school named after him. Incredible. He for about 20...
I know who Marlon Brando is.
How do you not know it's Vito Corleone or Superman?
Do you know who Beyonce is?
Yeah.
Okay, no. I was just checking what your reference is.
There was another dude in Godfather as well. Or 2 other dudes. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Any other guys in Godfather, James? You heard of? Italian. Okay, let's do it. Break it down. Italian.
Any given Sunday.
Okay, all right. So you're going to use another lifeline. One of them owns your favorite restaurant because you had a tragic incident, obviously, in Dubai happened to you, and you went and ate at the restaurant to make yourself feel better.
Nah, you won't know that.
Nobu. One of them owns half of Nobu. Yeah, that's for us.
Okay.
James, that's for us. Some stuff is for the listeners. Other stuff is just for us. Yeah. So
He had no boo.
yeah, no, that was tough. But Paulo, not sure if you know what happened there. James tragically dumped while he was in Dubai. A lady dumped him the text. She didn't dump him like it's over. She said
She dumped him like, stop looking at me through the window.
Well,
Just
they
more
said-
restraining order than a breakup.
yeah,
They inceptioned him.
no.
They said, listen, we need to talk.
yeah, that's actually what happened.
While you're on holiday.
But hey, shout out to you, Jimbo. While you were at Nobu, you didn't ruin it for the rest of your family. You did your crying into your pillow. I'd imagine at that age you were probably sharing a room with the family or whatever, so you didn't cry like in front of your parents. So I don't think I've actually given you credit for. Shout out to you for not becoming as selfish as you've actually become more selfish in life somehow now, where you don't care about the listeners and the viewers. But back then you weren't selfish at all. Let's see if we can unlock that. How old were you then? 17-year-old James.
No, it was in 2017. I was
23, James.
There we go.
So
23,
good.
James.
Wait, how old are you now?
I'm 24.
What year is it now?
It's 2021.
So
You're
how many
20,
years ago
20.
was that?
Guys,
You're 20.
All right, Jimbo. But I mean, shout out to you. So you know
I like
what?
how he got over it.
No, but this is a big moment for all of us.
He was in Thailand. Then he said, nah, Dubai.
Yeah. Oh, that's tough. But I kind of like this. Now we know that moment could have turned you around, and that's why you don't care about anyone but yourself right now, because that's not on you. You were a victim of a murderous event. I mean, she basically broke up with you while you were in a different country, and she knew you. There was nothing you could do about it. And let's be
Different
honest.
hemisphere.
And she was probably that night, probably at Manhattan with another dude. You in a different country.
Wow. Don't trigger him.
Sorry, James. But we've moved on, and we hate her, right?
when did I become a selfish person?
Oh, now that you're shifting, bro.
Okay, don't get me started. Like, guys said I was too harsh on the triggering thing, but do not get me started on how selfish you are. Just now, you were displaying all of the symptoms, not even listening to us or the listeners, not caring about them. So, but
The question I asked was about one of the listeners. How is that selfish?
James, I'm trying to defend you here to say that moment may have been why you're like you are now, and it's completely understandable. I'd also be selfish if somebody sent me a text while I was at Nobu. Anyway, point is, right, these 2 Italian guys in this movie called Godfather, by the way, you haven't heard about it, I know, but it's done pretty well. Not quite the Bible, but it's done pretty well and survived pretty long term. You want to take a guess? Italian? One guy owns Nobu?
How many guesses do I have?
James,
Wait, Gaylord
James, you talking to me? You talking at me?
He hasn't seen Taxi Driver either.
I'm walking here. I'm walking.
Don't make assumptions. I have.
Okay, meet the parents. Gaylord Falker's
He's got no
father-in-law.
idea.
He's still trying to guess.
Yeah, he's Googling, I think.
Huh?
Slowest Google.
Wowzers, James. That's wild. I mean, at this point,
Anyway, I just want to back up Nico Kritzinger because he wants to know why James and Waterboy changed seats.
Bobby Boucher.
Ryan, now, Nico Kritzinger, a man who obviously his marriage was in big time trouble when Tony McCann was on the show. I don't want to get into why and
Throwing
past
reckless.
aspersions. Well, I mean,
Hollering.
James and Nico, I think, kind of had the same issue during that show.
They
Again,
short-circuited.
yeah, I'm not causing any trouble in any homes. I'm just saying it did, things happened in that show with Nico and James. And it persisted
Time
with
stood still for them.
James actually became unselfish for one show. It was when Tony McCann was on the show. But whatever, I don't know what the reasons are for that. Maybe they're old-time friends, long-lost friends.
I saw him get on one knee.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, what are you doing? He said, no, I'm tying my shoelaces.
Sure. Yeah. Weird. Anyway, Tony McCann, she's got incredible powers, world-class athlete. It's going to happen. Ryan, Nico's suggesting you look like a water boy. Now, Bobby Boucher. Have you seen that movie? I mean, you're a little young maybe for that Sandler classic.
You can do it.
No, I haven't seen that movie.
All right, so you're...
Although I think it's a tad disrespectful calling me a water boy. I'd never
Mr. Pop
endorse
Culture.
anyone to drink that.
No, yeah.
That's where the name comes from.
That's a good comeback. All right, Ryan, your homework for the weekend. You need to go and see Waterboy, and I'd like to hear over the next week what you think about that being a reference for you. James, a guy called Al Pacino, not done too badly in life, huh? What do you think of him?
That's who I was going to say, and then
Wow.
you moved on to Waterboys.
All right, but there's another Italian guy. I said 2. What about the Nobu guy? You ducking at me?
Meet the parents.
I'm walking here. I'm walking.
Is it Robert De Niro?
Yes, meet the parents. Gaylord Falker.
Isn't it Christopher Walken?
No.
No.
You just heard walking, and you just going with it.
No.
So you haven't seen Taxi Driver? Okay, guys, you can't...
I probably saw it on ETV in like 2007.
Ryan.
Unbelievable.
Ryan, I see what you're trying to do there. They're like, it's for the old. You can't just watch Squid Games the whole time. There's other stuff as well that was actually...
No,
properly
James
written.
watches Squid Game. I don't watch Squid Game.
What do you watch?
I watch things like Suits.
All right, okay. So less Harvey Specter and the lady who's trying to break apart the whole of the British Empire by taking the ginger son and taking him to America. Less of that, right? She was in the show, by the way.
No, I know. It was actually better when she left.
No, they can't.
So what are you saying? You're on the Crown side, huh? You wish Harry would just get it together.
I'm a royal
divorce.
fan. What can I say?
You are. So
You're trying to leave the royals. You must go to the US.
All right, Ryan. Then I have a question for you. How did you feel when Camilla Parker Bowles just came in there and... Okay, I mean, we've already ripped on James. I don't want to trigger him.
She was always there.
She came and sort of undercut the People's Princess. What did you think?
Oh, what are you saying?
I'm not a biggest fan, but...
Whoa, you're not whose biggest fan? The People's Princess or Camilla Parker? Why?
Because look at Diana. She was the definition of a princess.
Of a princess, huh?
But Camilla was there first.
It's tough. What about the love story? Charles?
But that's... Camilla knows she's wrong. That's why she's not loud.
Oh my God.
That's why she's not loud. You won't see her have a say in that thing until Prince Charles is...
But she never had a shot, huh? Because once somebody's termed by the people, the People's Princess...
Look at her.
Camilla Parker Bowles could have been set up 500,000 homes for children in each country, right? She still couldn't win this PR war. Because once people call you the People's Princess... You know how many people there are? 7 billion!
Imagine. Because Mama Zala also didn't like her.
Yeah, True Love didn't win this time. Maybe the royals should pay some taxes as well, just like Lewis Hamilton. You know what I mean? What about that? All right. So James, shout out to you, Al Pacino, the one guy, and Robbie De Niro, Bobby. Hey, Bobby. That's how they talk in New York. You know what I'm saying?
Man who lives
You have no idea because you don't
Man
know
who
what I'm
lives in
saying. When I say,
Tribeca.
I'm walking here. I'm walking.
Guy lived in Tribeca.
You haven't seen Taxi Driver, have you?
I have. I said it just now.
So when I said I'm walking here, I'm walking.
But what was my reply supposed
No,
to
but
be?
Oh,
hold on.
Robert De Niro.
No,
in one of
he
the
said Al
biggest
Pacino.
movies of all time. Paulo.
He thought Al Pacino
All right,
was in it.
Paulo. You know what? Paulo's like all of you three, too young, and you guys all watch nonsense.
I've seen it.
Yeah, but I mean, you're also into. So you do introduce me to great shows, though. I do have to
I've
say.
seen it.
But Paulo, Taxi Driver. Are you kidding me? Should I said Raging Bull? There's no way James has seen Raging Bull, huh?
Heat.
He may have. You know, Taxi Driver is a very niche movie. It's not gonna, unless you were either of the time, or unless you're a student and a lover of film, like we evidently are in James.
Absolutely.
But he went to
Hates
actor.
People's class.
Ooh, you're actually right. You're right, because if you're a student of film,
He went to actor.
Taxi Driver and Raging Bull are sort of like Taxi Driver is a template of how to make a film.
Yeah.
It like really is a template of how to make a
Mise-en-scene.
movie.
You know who you'd think they'd be into in places like a guy called Martin Scorsese, surely.
Cronenberg and
Yeah.
you know.
Now, James, I have said AFTA is a scam. This almost
But
locks it in.
James, but AFTA is more on the film side. Is it not more technical rather than theoretical?
Is it, James? So you don't care what's good. It's just, okay, learn this, cram it in like you're a parrot. Oh.
It's all they're all Michael Bay.
Hey, James. Oh, okay. So just how do you make CGI for films?
But how else are you supposed to learn?
How do you submit invoices?
Yeah, that's it.
How to file a tax return.
Yeah.
So
Understanding freelance tax.
yeah, how to get Instagram to work for you. Now, James, what do you mean, what else are you supposed to learn?
Well, I mean, we learnt about films within our majors, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
But then we learnt about them from the perspective of what our major was. So, like, we went through a bunch of films and analyzed, like, the editing.
I see.
So we didn't just, like, go through Wreck-It Ralph and decide, hey, this is going to be what we're... Like, we watched...
Give me some of the examples.
We watched Memento.
Okay.
Mulholland Drive was another one of them.
Oh, that's very, very cool guy movie, by the way.
And then there was one more. We watched 3 of them, and we went through those 3 from like an editing point of view. It's not like it's like Paolo says. There's not an awful lot of theory. It's all dependent on where you are in the university.
Here's what I'd like to think, though, is that when you're at a film school, what you want to be is a film student, not just like, boom, I'm over here. And unless I'm wrong, because I've obviously, as you can hear, you'd probably want to be into the greatest movies of all time. Think to yourself, oh, okay, how did it look in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s? Because then it makes you know, it gives you that depth as an editor or whatever. Because what's weird is you do have incredible depth considering your age. I would have thought you'd been watching 50s, 60s. I mean, but do you have...
This one is very raw because, I mean, the conversation about film school, you mentioned a colleague of ours, Dori, earlier.
Yeah.
And I said the biggest, the most, something really impressed me what she did is she convinced her parents to pay for her to go to Wits Film School and watch films for 3 years. She didn't correct me that all she did was watch films for 3 years. She says, no, I paid for myself to go. Okay.
All right, that's just...
Right.
Alex Theatre.
So there you're watching a lot of film and you got this like really dense film history. Here's a film school where James, how long was your course? 2 years?
3 years.
3 years, and they watched a whole 3 films.
One
That's not a
one
film
year.
school, my friend. I watched more films in varsity outside
now,
advertising.
so now after the kids now must be watching like Avatar.
Hey guys, a degree is a degree. I'm just saying.
I don't go on.
You know the thing is, the
What?
difference between Wits
I don't know what.
Yeah, the difference between Wits and where James went was that James one's a scam because they paid literally the school fees of a private school in Switzerland to go there. So it's almost like they'll just get them through. Just get them through. Doesn't matter. Just get them through because we need
Someone else's problem now.
We need the 100,000 rand next year. We need that. Just get them through.
Don't worry about the dreadlock kids later. The white girls with the dreadlocks.
Hacky sack.
Worry about them later.
She was so beautiful in high school.
James, Paula just said something incredible and you have to comment on this. Be honest when I ask you this. How many white girls with dreads that didn't wear shoes to varsity did you know personally at AFTA? Hacky sack types. Yoga mat at school.
Carrying the recyclable plastic bags as school books.
Be honest.
As school bags.
For real, 0.
My name's Alexandra, but you can call me Sage.
No, for real, none of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but AFTA's the yuppies, huh? Because they're in, what's it? Where's the campus? In Sandton?
Auckland Park.
Oh,
Auckland Park.
Cost
to
a
40
fortune.
next to 44
Ryan
spending.
knew one. He says he knew one.
No, of course he did. Listen, James, your school's a scam. Unbelievable. 3 films in 3 years. I was a child and watched more than 3 films in 3 years. Nobody paid
Hi.
a
Hello.
cent.
Whoa. We didn't just do 3 films in 3 years. That's not all we did.
Kind of sounds like.
I was telling you what we did in our third year when we were specializing in our majors.
Okay, you know what we need to add to this show? We should be forcing
A point.
people. Yeah. Or quality is not always one thing. It's not a very good show. We know that, but right. But secondly, we should actually, because I'm getting to the point where I can't watch any of the CGI nonsense that happens today. So I'm just sticking to watching like A Clockwork Orange. James, don't worry. Don't ask what that is.
Lawrence of Arabia.
Right? Like I'm into that. Right. Maybe I should watch some new films. We should get into more film stuff. But then you have to watch Godfather. Like everybody has to watch Godfather in the world, in the history.
They'll get
it
bored.
makes no sense to me that people haven't seen Godfather. So let's maybe think about that. And James, this is crazy. We expand your movie knowledge from 3 to 6.
They'll get bored though.
That's double the money. That's double.
Sure.
That's James Ealesley.
Just to tell you, Godfather 2 is 3 hours 40 minutes, but it's the crucial one because
It's not the best one, but it's a crucial one.
no, it is the first one's the best.
No,
Yeah,
first one's the best one by a mile. But you're not going to watch it. James, can already see your dead face. Paulo, 3 films. His parents
Whole
paid.
3.
Do you know how hard James's mum worked? Oh my God.
So they literally watched The Matrix.
Just give her a refund. Is there any way for your mum to get a refund? Is it too late? Did she keep the receipt?
Probably can't get a refund.
3 films for, I didn't want to say it.
But then again, school fees is not taxed, so you can't get a refund for it.
You can't, eh? Oh my God, James, imagine the amount of champagne your mom could be drinking now and how unhappy you'd be. She might be enjoying her life if you didn't go to that scam of a school.
Should be chilling with Lynette Federer.
Imagine. Saying, James, kom we na. Roger's hier. Soek jy haar The MKT Show. We got Flip van der Merwe on the other side. It's the MKT Show.
God.
In the break, a message was sent to me by a woman who I spent 9 months inside of without paying rent, and I've never paid rent since. And I don't know if she expects it, but she is visiting and is watching the show, and she works with people's mental health and has done for a couple of years now. She said, "Don't be so mean to James," you know. So it was. So there you go, Jimbo. My mom's defending you. The guys did say it was a little bit harsh for me triggering you, saying she was with another guy that night when she sent you that text. That was too harsh, and my mom agreed with them. So, James, I'm not going to retract the statement because I still think it's true, but I have to say I was a little bit harsh there, and I hope that hasn't affected your your mental state now and moving forward?
I'm chilling, bro.
You're right, eh?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just like, in the spirit of openness, I just wanted to tell you what my mom said.
They reprimanded you.
Yeah, no. She's not having it, and
She probably called you by your petty name. Matrome.
but I want to be clear. I'm not taking the statement back. I'm just sorry that I got caught. I'm not actually sorry about what I said. I still believe it, but I do have to bring up that my mom's watching, and I had to do what I had to do to try and make you feel a bit better.
So they say on the streets, your mom checked you.
Yeah, but James, so to be clear, one last time, I'm not sorry about what I said. I'm sorry that I've been caught out. So there's that, you know what I mean, Jimbo?
So then that's insincere then.
Hi, MKT's mom.
Man, James, you're hysterical. Just an Afrikaans guy living his best life. James, how was gym this morning, by the way?
Actually really good, dude.
What time did you get there?
Just after 5, like 2 minutes past.
Which doesn't make sense. I mean, I call you at 4:15 in the
It
morning.
was literally 2 minutes past. I was there at 5. It just took me a while to get my stuff together and upstairs.
Why is the stuff not ready at the previous night? It's by the door in a tog bag.
You'd have missed his flight.
It is.
Okay.
What I mean is, I got there at 5.
No. Why is your stuff? Why is it taking you like at home? Why are you taking a second to get your stuff
I get
together?
my stuff ready the night before.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I got there at 5.
Okay. So, which is late already. I mean.
You said 5.
Yeah, but if you're getting there at 5, it's 5 minutes. Hey guys, boom, boom, boom. It's 10 past.
James is like on the plane.
No, I mean James. Oh, there we go. That's James after, oh my goodness, after my mom. Hashtag Senzo in red. That's James falling apart. I mean, in fairness, I have said to him and triggered him in a moment that maybe ruined his entire life. All right, a man who's probably completely fine in France, a good representative for the Afrikaans community. I'm not saying who's a bad representative. I'm just saying this particular individual is the highest 5-star caliber representative for the Afrikaans community and South Africans and Cambridge students and locks and
the housewife's favorite.
And housewife's favorite, ladies and gentlemen. In France, somewhere, trying to save the planet, a man known as Flip van der Merwe. Flip, what's happening, pal?
Bonjour, welcome from the middle of nowhere.
Where are you?
I'm somewhere in the north of France. Close to, on my way to Lille, I had to stop in a proper French bistro.
Okay.
So here I am. I'm using my in-house voice.
So what are we thinking? Are we gonna get some? Oh, very nice, very nice. What are we having there? Just a little something. Just a little refresher, huh?
It's a long lunch, bro.
Just a little refresher, as you do in France. As you do in France, when you stop for lunch, if you don't have a beer, it's weird. People look at you like, that is what are you doing here? Can't trust you. Yeah.
All right, Flip, before we get into things, right, because we got quite a bit to get through. Great to have you on the show. Good to see you. Good to be back. Last week you tried to get on the show, but you were driving a hydrogen car. So not only have you got a Cambridge degree, not only are you a world-class rugby player, not only are you a legend at Grey, but you're actually saving the planet as well. Again, it does make me resent you a little bit. Is there anything you can't do? Are you actually James's favorite person? Well, you guys are besties. Now, Flip, got to tell you a situation that happened, okay? Since you guys are besties, you probably already know it. A couple of years ago, James got in a bit of a situation in Dubai. I don't really want to get into it. What happened? Anyway, the lady kind of sent him a message. We need to talk. Okay, I think you know what the rest is. You're right. And now in the break, that's James falling apart. I mean, it's going to happen. But in the break, my mom said I shouldn't have been so mean to James to talk about that. I don't know if, obviously as besties, you knew about that. Just your thoughts on James still falling apart over a lady he left 4 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, love is a difficult thing. I still haven't figured that out as well.
So there you go, James. Hey, Jimbo, I think that's fair. Love is a difficult thing, and it's fair. So really, my mom and Flip van der Merwe say I'm wrong, and the guy said I'm wrong. So maybe I need to be more sorry about getting caught.
I mean, at least he has Liverpool, so.
Everyone's having shots. Everyone's taking shots.
Yeah, no, it's
even you, Flip.
That's brutal. Okay, I mean, that's a great, yeah. So
why?
It's free, man. It's free.
Yeah, that's tough. That's sensitive.
This is terrible.
In a Liverpool shirt, by the way.
This is terrible.
Terrible, huh?
But actually, you know what? I'm going to be a mean person by saying it. Even though James has been bullying me the whole week,
Yes.
I told you, said, listen, I turned the other cheek.
Yes. And then he probably slapped the other cheek. I mean, he's really been at it, James.
Yeah.
Like he's been at you guys, huh?
Relentless.
Paulo, he hasn't got you so bad. I mean, we did meme you, 3 times last week after the bold prediction, I think. When was it? The Villa one. The Villa week was the bad week.
I was talking about experience in that you got to own the narrative. You know, you've got to own the narrative. So I always make sure that the fun I'll make of myself is funnier than the fun you'll make of me. So then you try and you go, I can't outdo that guy. So always be the funniest guy in the room.
That's so smart.
No.
That is what I'm talking about. That is so smart. What you've done there is control the narrative.
Totally control the narrative.
Spin doctor.
Now, Flip, as you may notice, Senzo's Tebe is looking very, very uncomfortable in this Liverpool shirt. So, Senzo, maybe you want to tell Flip what you've been going through. It's been a long week. I mean, he's obviously saving the world.
It looks good, man. It looks good.
Down.
I look good.
It brings up your eyes, I must say.
That's
You know, you're not the first guy to say that, eh?
Yeah.
That's what I said on Tuesday.
Oh, you guys really are besties.
What, me and Flip?
That is why we are besties, exactly.
Yeah, that's you guys.
They're in sync.
Great beards. Yeah, no, looking good.
Both Afrikaans.
Yeah. No, well.
No, but they balance each other out.
Flip's Afrikaans. James.
They balance each other out.
James has Afrikaans symptoms, I would say.
He's Afrikaans adjacent.
Yeah, he's
Afrikaans tendencies.
Yeah, he's displaying symptoms. I don't want to start, you you can't put the two next to each other. All right, Flip, welcome. By the way, I want to talk a little bit about what you do for a living, because I do want to be honest. And it's why I've actually been wearing this jacket as much as I can after I went to Nature's Valley. You ever been there? Nature's Valley? Knysna kind of area?
I've been.
Yeah.
I've been fishing. I've been fishing up Storms River, Nature's Valley. Beautiful place. Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Hidden place.
Yeah. So I was there.
And my mom's not listening, but I smoked my first joint in Nature's Valley.
Oh my gosh! How about? And it makes total sense. By the way, let me tell you a story that happened while I was there. Was somebody from a place called Greyton told me a story about where there's a witch in Greyton, and nobody said a thing. It was just like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Tell us more. No, yeah. You see, your face is what I did. Your face is what I did, but everybody in Nature's Valley just said, "Oh, there's a witch. Okay, cool. Tell us." Yeah, that's amazing.
Is it after that Botsburg story now, witches are more popular, probably?
Whoa, wait a minute.
You have a right to be a witch now.
What happened in Botsburg?
No, you mean Krugersdorp.
Oh, you mean Krugersdorp with the yes, that's obviously Devil's Dorp. Now hold on, Flip. I can't let this go. I don't know if all witches are, because there's black and there's white witches, and that's not a color thing.
Yes, so it's like...
Which one's the negative?
So it's like...
Stop being racist, please.
No.
No, witches don't see color, obviously, and spells don't either.
It's like, let's say you were a traditional healer in black culture.
Yes.
So it's either Winyanga or Wisangoma. Even being Isangoma is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And then you can use your stuff, your powers to do bad. Well, your gift to do bad.
Yeah.
Then you're a Tagat.
Okay, let's use a reference people in Iceland could get. Your favorite movie, Harry Potter, right?
Yes.
So
you get a good wizard, so you can be Dumbledore.
Okay, who's Thy Shall Not Pass? I know it's Lord of the Rings. So Ian McKellen, he's...
Dumbledore.
Is that Lord of the Rings?
No, but he was in Harry Potter and he was Gandalf.
How much money is he made?
He was Gandalf and he was Dumbledore.
At the same time.
At the same time. He's clocked it.
So Ian McKellen's just next level.
Done.
And he was Magneto.
He was
Magneto.
At the same time. All three at the same time.
Man, oh man, he's best friends with Patrick Stewart. He's a
that's why he's Sir.
Sir Ian.
So,
all right, white witch, black witch.
Wait.
Football managers. What is Mourinho?
Yes.
Mourinho's Voldemort.
Black witch.
Black witch.
He who shall not be named.
Okay, and then Carlo Ancelotti is
Harry Potter.
And that's the
white boy
witch.
Who lived.
All right, so because Flip, you were saying there that the witches and the devil are connected, and I feel that's wrong.
You guys just
let's
lost
go
me
to an
there.
expert.
No idea what you spoke.
Well, let's go. Oh yeah, Harry Potter, terrible stuff.
I've been here since 12 o'clock. I have no idea what's going on today. I'm lost.
Yeah, Flip, don't worry. Harry Potter, all of it, nonsense.
So let me put it to you in rugby terms, all right? Let me put it to you.
I think it's the Harry Potter thing.
No, let me put it to him in rugby terms. So we're all rugby teams, right? And they're rugby players. So South Africa are the good people, and Australia are the bad witches.
So the black witch would be Australia. We're the white witch.
Yeah, boy.
Now,
shouldn't the All Blacks be black witches?
No,
It just makes it easier to follow.
Yeah. It's easier for the continuation as a consumer. Passive consumption would be easy. But
they are bad and good.
Yeah, they are bad and good.
So
Just that they won't let you in if somebody coughs at a supermarket. Listen, I want to tell you. Sorry?
Oh,
what was that?
Oh, it's like Pretoria girls.
Oh my lord. Oh my goodness. I mean, I can comment on that. It is quite true. I used to go to Drop Zone quite a lot. So now, but Ryan, you can step in here because you might be offended by this, Ryan, because obviously you being from Devilsdorp do you want to be connected with witches, and are all witches into the devil? Because most people hear the witches and they hear bad. So should we make that connection? It's a tough connection to make. That Flip has just jumped to immediately.
I wouldn't say, I'm not actually from Devilsdorp. I'm borderline.
You're past 14th.
No, but you see, Devilsdorp's far away from 14th.
Okay, go ahead.
You have to hit undeckers for quite a while. But where I stay, there's no Devilsdorp tendencies, or at least none that I don't know of.
Yeah. Okay, so Flip, it's quite tough for Ryan to accept it. It's kind of like James being a ginger, that he won't accept that he's a ginger because it's in his beard. He's
a ranga.
They're all from the West, and for me, it's like I've seen Devilsdorp. That whole area is just hectic. So yeah. My point was though, we shouldn't really put witches and the devil in the same place, except the lady who was a witch and also brought the devil to Ryan's house. Terrible. By the way, Paulo's sister lived across the block, didn't she, from the Devilsdorp lady?
Around the corner, not from the Devilsdorp lady, one of her followers.
Listen to that. Corner. It could have been you, Paulo.
But he's Portuguese, staunch Catholic.
Yeah, they would have done.
Rosary.
Well, it falls into the nature of all scams, because that's ultimately what it was. It was just a scam with, like, pentagrams. A scam. A pentascam, if you will. Right?
Pentascam!
Pentascam.
And it just falls into all of it, because... Famous last words. None of us here should ever get caught up in a scam because we're smart people, right? And we're not desperate people.
Yes.
So whether it's witches or Bitcoin or puppies, whatever it is, it's always going to be the same people caught up in scams. Well, that's James out. You're right. Exactly.
Do you know what's the biggest scam? Those power balance wristbands.
You see, it's all of those. And then the copper thing. No, the power balance are different.
The power balance, yeah. That was that was the German
the blue
brand.
one. The blue one with like the silver thing.
Adidas tried to sell that on us, huh? Shout out to them, hey. The Germans, they will sell you stuff. They'll make it and it'll be good.
Live strong as well.
Now, Lawrence, I mean, he's a different case. Great podcast. I can't really get into him. So now Henry says he wasn't Dumbledore, just Gandalf and Magneto. So, I mean, do you even know films here, Senzo?
He was Dumbledore, man.
Okay, well, I'm just saying Henry, who doesn't have a surname for whatever reason, he's saying he wasn't.
He's like Voldemort.
Yeah. All right, Flip, let's actually talk some sport. By the way, no, hold on. Before we get to sport, you actually are doing stuff which, and I was explaining why the otter is important to me, is, I can't really say that conversation we're having, but nature is a really important thing to me, and I think human beings haven't taken it that seriously. Obviously, Industrial Revolution, hey, let's just burn stuff and put it in the sky. Who cares about the after effects? But I mean, you're working sort of in that space, and I'm seeing that, your top is just making it in. If you lean back a little bit, we'll be able to see the logo. I don't know if that's the company that makes things happen. But why were you at this conference? Where was it? What were you doing? And what do you actually do for a living now? I think that's an awesome thing, because I was reading on LinkedIn with terrible translation like Fabrizio Romano's Twitter. So I was reading that on LinkedIn, exactly what you do. So maybe talk us through where you've been and what's what.
Yeah, sure, mate. So I do ask myself a couple of mornings in the week, what do I do actually for a living? But no, I do consulting, so I tell people what to do. I don't necessarily do it myself, but working in a very interesting space in the adoption of hydrogen as an alternative energy. So what we have done is creating a platform that makes the vehicles communicate with the stations. So wherever there's a station, there's not a lot of stations, but France, for example, has a big ecosystem already, and making the vehicles communicate. So telling a car where the next station is, alerting a station that the car will be on its way, so that the cooling down process and the compressing of the hydrogen can start, and the user experience at the end is the same as a normal the car that we know these days. To test our technology, we are actually doing a little tour around France in a Hyundai Nexio. So it's like your normal Hyundai that you see on the road, but it's hydrogen powered. Very, very fancy, very nice car. Enjoying it a lot. I'll send James a photo so you can show it. Enjoying the trip a lot. I mean, it's very serene. You drive around. We've done almost 2,000 k's already. We haven't emission 1 kilogram of carbon dioxide. The reality is when you stop and there's actually a little puddle of water underneath your car.
Oh, wow.
That's what it emits.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it. So that's it, huh?
So you use... Yeah, it emits water. So normal science, you know, if you heat up hydrogen, that's H2, and you mix it with oxygen, heat it up, H2O comes out, pure water.
Makes sense.
Maybe that's the next step.
That's exactly it. But don't bring that near Orion, because not only do his people believe in the devil, but Orion does not drink water. He says, get that the hell out of here. And in fact, if water is from the Alps and it's clean, he'd rather put it in his swimming pool than drink it. So just letting you know what people are up to in Devil's Dorp. All right, Flip, before we go to the break, I want to... And Paolo, maybe you can come in here, because of all of us, you guys have been in the real working world more so than anybody else. A guy called Deshaun Watson right now is in... I mean, that H2O underneath your car would be boiling hot. Now they would be burning him like a witch back in the day. Honestly, cannibal's dream. They will boil you in water, those cannibals. It's a real thing.
The steak.
Deshaun Watson is currently 23 cases split between civil and criminal for sexual abuse. Right?
Yeah.
So the problem here is that he's one of the top 5 athletes, because the quarterback is the most important athlete in American sport, and ultimately that elevates him into the top 5 most important athletes on the planet. Deshaun Watson's one of the 5 greatest on the planet, probably the hardest position in American sport outside of pitcher. So he's now got this thing hanging over him, right? Miami Dolphins rumored he's just approved a deal to them, but I'm just wondering, Paolo, I'll quickly start with you, and then Flip, I'll bring it to you. Paolo, have you... I mean, we've all had this experience if you work for long enough, but somebody this talented, right, falls short of moral standards. And I'd like to know, Paolo, how have you dealt with, if you've had to deal with this, maybe not quite sexual, but criminal kind of stuff? What do you do with talented people in the real world who are just... And now that the evidence is too compelling, Paolo, like, what do you do?
I think there's certain lines you don't cross. I think, you can handle outrageous talent with outrageous personalities if it's constructive to the workplace. I think when it comes to moral grounds, you just don't need rubbish people around you.
But what happens when they're the top level and they're just churning the best workout?
I think that's a problem with sports, and I think bad behavior is too easily rewarded in sports. At the end of the day, you are an organization that is responsible for millions, if not billions of dollars, pounds, whatever it is. And you can't excuse that, because there will be somebody else in your team that can carry it. And they always say, a principle's not a principle unless you're prepared to lose money over it.
Sure.
Okay, or talent over it. And it goes, he will go, he'll move on. And what's more important to you? The short-term fix of having this guy on your team, or the long-term credit of saying we don't want to engage with people like that?
But it was like with Aaron Hernandez.
Slightly different there, because Bill Belichick didn't know. Slightly different.
Okay.
Because the organization didn't. They just didn't know, which maybe they did, maybe they didn't know. It's like, now this is on Instagram and it's come. And what's slightly even more interesting about this is that Deshaun Watson, right, and Flip, I don't know if you know how the story has gone, but so he started making some noises last year to say, I want to get out of Houston. As soon as he said that, this stuff came out. Like literally the day after he came out, wrote a letter to say he's out of here. the next day.
But don't you think these massive sports institutions actually cover that up?
Oh, I know.
Right?
I know.
Because Jared doesn't do scandal.
So how much are sporting institutions hiding what their star players are up to and squashing it and doing, keeping people quiet? And then it's like, well, we covered this up, we protected you.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't fly anymore. So they're probably, if that's true, and you're saying the timing and it does look suspicious, how complicit were they in everything up till then? Because they kept rewarding the bad behavior. He did it once, they covered it up. He did it twice, covered up, and they said, don't do it a third time. He did it a third time, they covered it up, they said, okay, go on holiday till it dies down. So, they probably created the monster.
Flip, you know what it is, and that's a great point, is I'd love to hear from your sort of perspective. Have you ever been in a change room where, what largely, I mean, it's not everybody, it's not all and every, there's religious people, there's people from different parts of the world, there's liberals, there's, you know what I mean, have you ever been in a change room with a person, and you don't have to say who it is if you have, where their talent level was the best in the world or close to, but morally, by what most of us say, they done something despicable and been allowed back into the change room? I don't know if you've been in that situation, and how did you handle it as a change room?
That's the sort of the question you posed to me last night as well, to speak about this, and it's a very different or difficult scenario. Definitely, there's a big PR exercise behind. If you think NFL teams, I think we were lucky in a rugby environment that it's sort of smaller. It's a smaller, less fabulous environment, almost have to say. It's not as flashy. So lucky to have never been in a situation where criminally someone was involved. We had a situation with a player at the Bulls where he was in an assault case against a police officer. At the Bulls, I think the police escorted him back home and then tried to rob him of his. It was a big story. So you obviously try and support the facts. You can't choose a side, but then also because he's your friend at first, so you have to support him morally. You have to support him, morally, and be there for him. But then in the end, whatever way the law goes, that's the right or wrong. You can't, because you're a sports star, you can't fall back and say, okay, yeah, but he's my man. He sweated next to me, so he can go continue what is going. Also in sport, there's the other side. It's also very true, where a lot of bad PR is created to blemish a good name or to blemish a name. For example, if teams don't want people anymore, 1 or 2, 3 names would come out into the hat and say, well, there's some bad news about you in the papers, so if you want to leave, we can just let this go as well. So it's always good to see if these things go to the process and go to a court, and we can see the facts, not being just judged by Twitter or judged by the universe. But morally, I agree with you. It's more important that people stand up and as a team say, we don't support bad behavior. We support good moral people, and we support sport. We support whatever sport we partake.
But now there's another dimension, right? Is Deshaun Watson's case has a little bit of a different dimension. As you said, rugby perhaps hasn't had this challenge, but I think in France especially, it's probably headed this way, right? Is we know in life, like we all do this. Like so I'm not a moralist. One thing I've come to just understand in life is that, especially in sport where there's now juggernaut money. Deshaun Watson is earning, and he's badly paid. He's going to earn $36 million a year starting next year. He's badly paid, by the way. That's a bargain for a guy like him.
At what age?
$36 million salary. So that's his base salary is what he'll earn, and he's badly paid for a quarterback of that level, right? Is that there's also another side. Is what about the billions at play for every win versus the morality side, right? Do those conversations ever get to players, would you say? Because what do players do? Deshaun Watson is one of 5 human beings on the planet that can play quarterback at that level. The Houston Texans, Miami are willing to trade for him. They're willing to mortgage their future for a guy who may never play. He will not play this year. He'll get onto the NFL commissioners. What do we do about where sport is going in that sense? Because then is it just about the W? And I know that that's an ugly side to discuss, But ultimately, organizations let people get away because we're here to win. What do we think of that from your side as a sportsman? Do you have a problem with that, or do we need to continue this conversation of morality versus, hey, listen, ultimately we got to get W's because it's worth $150 million at the end of the year? It's tough. It's a tough one. It ain't easy.
Well, yeah, it's very tough. It's very tough. I think it's like in the big corporates. It's all about the P&L and how can we make profits. If you have a bad guy making cash, are we willing to hide that? And as I said earlier, as a sport, where do we stand morally? When is money? Because I mean, paying that money for a big company like the Texans or the Dolphins is nothing compared to the sponsorship and endorsements and filling up the stadium if they get that W's. But seeing the way social media works and seeing the way people judge and sponsorships pull out. You guys had some fun this week at Cliff Central as well.
Chicken sales affected.
Seeing how sponsorship pull out. How will that affect the Miami Dolphins and their decision making? Will they say, okay, well, we don't want to touch that. You sort out your shit, and then we speak again afterwards.
Hey, and also it's tough on the PR side because the NFL is probably the most unique beast in the world, right? Is they've just signed a $120 billion deal with Fox in a pandemic, by the way. That's how good the business model is there. But they've also got another little special trick where they've got 32 of the richest people on the planet with revenue sharing. So billionaires tend to not run out of money. So actually they probably can be less moral and just look for W's because we don't care what you say on Twitter. We're still
But exactly, when is it becoming a Bernie Madoff situation where they say, well, you've been involved with him, you supported him, so now you're implicated in his trials. So I think guys are getting more and more sensitive.
Yeah, it depends on what you got, pal.
Not Jerry. Jerry said, "Fly over it again."
Yeah, he will say fly over it again. Jerry Jones Electric. By the way, if you haven't seen the documentaries about the '90s Cowboys, do yourself a favor. Jerry has covered up more. And in fact, stuff has come out about Jerry. Listen, Google Jerry Jones and there's another guy called Ander Herrera who we'll talk about a little bit later. There are pictures of Jerry and ladies of the night.
My thing is that you always say production versus tolerance, right? And this guy, he puts bums in seats. If we win, that's more money. That's more bums in seats.
Yeah.
We sell more merchandise.
Yeah.
We're able to compete at the top level.
Yeah.
But I've said, I'll understand or try to excuse anything. But if you sexually assault somebody.
Listen, the NFL doesn't have a good record on that.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
But Ray Lewis,
what is it about the NFL that this keeps happening?
Listen,
time and time again, what the hell is going on?
You also, the NFL is unique. When you look at the size of the teams and the money at play, it's a very unique thing. There's probably very few environments in the whole world outside of investment banking where that many alphas are in the same place looking to be the man, right? You look at the teams, what other squads where everybody thinks they're the best in the world, there's 50 of them.
It's about ego.
Well, being at the top is. Flip can tell you need an ego. You got to think you're the guy. Think of that environment. It's constantly like they're shooting fish with a barrel, and especially in today's world, is again the NFL's so insulated. It's not like anything else. It's the Premier League
because it feels that way. It really feels like
they don't do scandal.
They don't answer to anybody but the NFL.
They don't have to. 32 of the richest humans to ever live have got a collective bargaining agreement that where they're in. Only Jerry Jones is outside of that bubble. He sells his own tickets, but Jerry does his own thing, right? 32 of the richest. One thing about powerful people that I've learned, and Flip, I don't know, you're probably around them now trying to save the world, is they do not like to answer to people.
Well, isn't Robert Kraft boys with Donald Trump?
Robert Kraft is the guy, by the way. He got Meek Mill out of jail and also got caught in an Asian place where muscles need to get relaxed. And yeah, that got squashed pretty quickly. He's got all the money in the world. So again, that's
He
tough.
liked it getting squashed. What a pervert.
Hey, people are different, man.
Robert Kraft. By the way, he wears Jordans. He wears a suit and Jordans as a
You
billionaire.
see, because he's been hanging out with Meek Mill.
No, he hangs out with all the hip hop guys, by the way.
And Donald
Robert
Trump.
Kraft, unique. Yeah, oh yeah. No, but everyone loves him. So it's him and Jerry. They run the NFL. Everybody follows them. Everyone, we do what those guys.
Jesus and Vice Jesus.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, but the NFL is insulated, Flip, and it's a very unique environment. I think the NFL, they've got a terrible record. Ray Rice, Ray
Michael
Lewis
Vick.
was acquitted, but it's not just Ray Rice. I mean, we saw who's the cornerback who went to Stanford, who's just come back, the guy with the dreads, part of the Legion of Boom, Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
We saw what he did to his girlfriend. We saw that video.
Aaron Hernandez.
Aaron Hernandez. So the NFL does not have a great record. So it's tough, man. Once it's becoming about money, and money complicates absolutely everything. Jimbo, what you got back there, pal?
But it's not only the. So Paolo asked, why is it the NFL that has this kind of, I don't know if reputation's the right word to use.
Track record, yeah.
Yeah. But also, like, the Premier League in recent years has also sort of.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about Kyle Walker going slapping the salami with ladies, with Instagram models in Paris, that kind of stuff, huh?
Well, I'm talking more about Prison FC.
Oh, yeah, okay. So
But I can understand it,
also, but I mean, they're just stupid, aren't they? I mean, they're just out in the open. What's the Wayne Rooney thing? Like, had other girlfriends and just, Ronaldo sent a taxi to pick up an Instagram. I mean, that's just, let's.
it's not good enough.
They're
not
just
good
stupid.
enough. But hey, speaking of which, James is right though. A guy from Iceland and a guy from France are in serious trouble right now. And the guy at Bayern Munich, what's his name? Hernandez. He's also in jail.
But
And by the way, footballers do it differently as well. Guy called probably the biggest Arabic star in the world, Mo Salah, is coming for him though. Karim Benzema, not sure if you... Is this a story in France, by the way? Because Karim Benzema, this case is coming up. I don't know if you know, a guy the size of Peter Dinklage was blackmailed by this guy called Mathieu Valbuena, was blackmailed a couple of years ago by his French teammate Karim Benzema. So what are we doing there, Flip? I mean, you're supposed to look after your teammates,
it's
right?
a big story, but I mean, and he got dropped from the national team. He got dropped from everywhere. Went to play in Madrid, and now he's the man again.
Although the case is coming back up, by the way.
Yeah.
Look out for that. I don't know if you know, he might
He's
be going to
back
jail.
up, but no, it's also French now. He's good at football, so now back in the day he wasn't as good. He was on the decent. So
I hear you.
Kick the can down the road, and now he's good again. He's national hero. You can see that one disappearing as well.
Settle out of court.
But my thing is that now, it's what happens when you don't educate people. Because imagine as a 20-something-year-old man, right? Mm-hmm. You have grown up dirt poor. Mm-hmm. Dirt poor.
Yeah.
And now they're giving you all the money in the world. You're not going to know how to handle it.
Look, I don't want to start getting caught up in that because, hold on. I have a problem with that. And Gareth got in trouble for something similar, but I have a similar position because I come from a poor family. And the bigotry of low expectations is a very dangerous, slippery slope. Is that, sorry...
You didn't let me finish.
It almost... No, guys, I can see where you're going. Is that we shouldn't just presume only poor people are in that behavior. And also... being poor doesn't make you immoral. Like we mustn't conflate that and excuse it because somebody was poor. We have to have the same what is objectively moral and immoral for everybody. So that isn't a line for me. Like because I know rich people who display in the same scale.
Sure, I'm not excusing it, man. Yeah. But look at the guys that these guys hang out with. You know what I mean? They want to take people with them that aren't doing anything. You know what I mean? Have you seen the people that Benzema hangs out with?
Yeah, they're blackmailing midgets.
They're extorting people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's your dad and your mom, solid.
No, and my whole family is poor, not just them, yeah.
But you toe the line.
Yeah.
You toe the line. Imagine now you come from a background where, let's say somebody was like heavy on drugs and then your dad stepped out on you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you absent father and your mom just didn't care about you. All that stuff.
Yeah. No, listen, obviously coming from those environments will make you a different kind of savage. But I don't think it should it should be an excuse.
No, I'm not excusing it.
Because even in poor environments, it's a great example. I come from poor environments. It's not acceptable in the Xhosa or certainly not in my household, no matter even the dirt poor. It's not acceptable to be smoking drugs. Even though there are people who transgress, I think we do need to draw a line. And it's obviously not as easy as yes or no. It's an extremely complicated thing. We are all products of our environments, but I don't want to put burdens on poor people to say, just because you come from that environment, ipso facto, I'm going to understand that you display certain behavior. No. I have to hold expectations.
But then again, at the end of the day, you're right. You know what's right and you know what's wrong, and we all have a choice.
And we have to hold others to standards, regardless where they're from. Because, again, guys that are driving Lamborghinis here are doing the same thing.
Sure.
So which is why that bigotry of low expectations for people is so crushing for me that we constantly lean on that. No, sorry. Do not suggest that poor people are immoral by saying he comes from a certain background, thus he's more likely to do this. No, we must say nonsense. Wherever you come from, there is a standard for everyone, is what I believe. And I'm not saying I'm right, and it's not that simple. It's not that as simple as I'm putting it. But I'm not going to crush poor people by saying, oh, well, I expect you to be immoral anyway, and goo goo gaga, now I must be soft on you. Absolutely not. That's not how you make a nation stronger, in my opinion. You've got to lift.
And then again, the law is the law.
We need objectivity. Yeah. I know now you're allowed to identify as a pumpkin, and I have to respect you as that. Sorry, I'm not playing that game. I am not playing that game. You know who is playing a game? Oh my goodness. Right? The NBA, it's where you dribble with your hands. Guy called Kyrie Irving. I'm not sure if you've heard of this guy, Flip. He thinks the earth is flat, which is awesome. He was on game day once. It was a match day, Paolo. I don't know if you remember this. He said, can't make it. In fact...
During the playoffs.
Yeah, on game day, can't make it. Why? Well, I got some stuff going on. On the same day, boom, he's on a Zoom call with the lady from Sex and the City. She's running for mayor. He's supporting her cause. All right, weird. Then, a beautiful thing happened in lockdown, right, when they were playing, was that, hey, Kyrie, why are you not coming to work? I need some time off. Oh, my goodness. Like 10 hours later, isn't it him doing the funky chicken at his sister's birthday while his players are playing in a bubble in Disneyland on Mickey Mouse's face? This guy is incredible. So he refuses, by the way, to get vaccinated. Now what that means, and the Brooklyn Nets have at last taken a strong stance. So he could have played the home games, but not the away games. He's on $33 million a year. He refuses to get vaccinated, and they are all out on him. Flip, this is another case, and I'd love to know where you had... Also, the problem is this guy's one of the five best players when he's on in the league, but now he won't vaccinate, he can't play. What do you do with this? Because he's done nothing criminally, but get a vax pal. What do you do with this level of talent, and he just won't work hard and be part of the team? When you're this talented, Flip, what do you do? Does the dressing room respect talented people more because you guys just want to win and you let them get away with more? What is the story? And I don't know if you know the story with this Maverick.
Chabopule.
Yeah, followed it a little bit. I mean, he did criminally break the worldwide national law of don't be a dick. He is. Yeah. Everyone has the opinions to do whatever they want, and the vaccination story. Everyone's got their opinion on that. But getting paid that check, mate. We talked about football or sports stars using drugs and living the high life. This guy has definitely had worse stuff than a COVID vaccine in his body. And I've read the whole thing. He's changed the thing. He said he's not against the vaccine. He's more against being enforced to do something. And I think that's where sports people sort of get it wrong. It's like you sign a contract to do the sport you do. Because you're very good at your passion. When you sign a contract, unfortunately, it means somewhere you can't really do what you want to do. You have to pitch up for games. That's what you get paid to do. Bottom line. So I don't know what's the latest on what did the Nets say on the situation?
They lost last night. Kevin Durant came out there and controlled the narrative. Said, "Hey, I know what y'all gonna ask me. Yeah, we do miss Kyrie." So he's brilliant. And the problem is this, Flip. The problem is that they've actually sacrificed probably the season for him. Is that they can't just trade him. He's got a year left, and to bring in equal talent. they are going to have to sell half of New York, essentially mortgage their future for probably 3 or 4 years.
Which they've already done.
Because they have, this guy is a nightmare. Paulo, this guy, Kyrie Irving, just, like, what do you do here?
Chabupule. What they do with Chabupule? I'll call his mother.
It's a different, with Kyrie Irving, and I think where
Australian as well.
He owes his team, because it's a health issue. I think COVID is a health issue, and you as a professional athlete owe it to your team when you pay, we sign that contract, that you will do everything in your power to make sure you stay healthy. And for him to just do it, but it just sounds like he's just an otherwise bastard. So, like, he's the
guy.
If he's the sort of guy that you said, oh no, the shirt's red, you'd say, no, I don't really think it is.
Yeah.
He just seems like that sort of guy.
Yeah, flat Earth.
Yeah, he just probably needs to be slapped around a little bit, to be honest.
Australian though, it's going to happen once it's in your blood.
But because this, do not make this.
Is he Australian?
Well,
I was born there.
Born in Australia. Yeah.
Really?
Do not make this.
But I just want to tell you, the guy they're looking to trade for is just as much of a headache. Guess where he is from? Australia. Ben Simmons, nightmare, pitches up with joggers at the practice. He gets paid $30 million a year.
His cell phone.
He had a cell phone in his pocket. That's the guy they might swap.
And they suspended him. And then he chose to miss the second game of his own accord.
Said he had a tight back. You must just know that this guy that we're talking about now, Ben Simmons, he did date a Kardashian. Enough said.
Is Kyrie Irving really
and he did
a
it
flat
to
earther?
Nashi.
So.
But do not make this situation very complex now, because now it's got to do with New York law.
Yeah.
Because now it says in a certain space, in an arena, you have to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
And Kyrie Irving, what baffles me is that Kyrie Irving, this thing didn't come up yesterday, man. This law wasn't passed yesterday.
Yeah.
They were talking about it and stuff like that.
It's so selfish, dude.
But you've got a contract. Ultimately, you've got a contract. I'd call him and say, if I'm the New York Nets, saying, listen here, get your butt to work. Otherwise, don't bother.
But you can. The problem is he's earned $200 million.
Yeah,
so now you can't control him with money.
He has all the power.
And the issue with guys like this, right, is everybody wants to be LeBron. What people forget is basketball's always been LeBron's main focus. Yeah. So that's what made him an icon. It's like Nelson Mandela wasn't focused on becoming an icon while he was doing his thing. If you want to be an icon like Muhammad Ali, the main thing was fighting. I want to fight. That's what made him an icon. Let the people do your bidding for you if you're going to be an icon. You like Kyrie's biggest dream, right? Another problem here, Flip, is that he's so desperate to be an icon. Like the things he says about how he sees the world in colors and like he's this guy who wants to be this icon. LeBron James has never said anything about that. I'm playing basketball, I'm going to slam dunk on your head and I'll open a school where I'm from.
But we should have seen this coming.
I'll let you comment on that. That's how you become an icon, not become a flat earth.
We should have seen this coming though.
He's not stable. I'm honestly worried about him.
Yeah,
I'm worried about his mental health. Flip. I mean, you can't go flat earth and now he's missing for a Zoom call for not even the best looking lady from
Sixers. Some prayers to calling Irving.
Yeah, well said. T's and P's.
Surprise.
Hey, let's move on to somebody else who, you know what? I want to get James's take on this, and maybe Ryan, you're from Devil's Door. Probably plenty of these types of people walking around where you're from. A guy called Ander Herrera in Paris had a little incident where I don't know why he's playing Uber at that hour of the night. But he decided, okay, I'm going to let that lady into my car.
Well, no.
Lady boy.
Can I read the story, right? I've actually lost it now. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Set that up. I actually closed it. I need to read the story to you.
All right. So, look, the Football Bible says Ander Herrera was robbed by a prostitute last night in Paris, according to Le Parisien. The prostitute robbed Herrera's phone and 2,000 euros from his wallet.
Okay, whoa. Okay. No. Okay, let me read the sequence of events. So, listen, I've never been to Paris, but a lot of people tell me that Paris is only nice if you can afford nice Paris.
Yeah.
They say it's pretty slummy.
And stinks.
Paris. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it stinks.
So a lot of people say like Paris isn't the Paris that we think it is, right?
Not. It's not. Definitely isn't.
I don't care who you are. You not driving in your suburb and finding a transvestite prostitute, right? There are certain places in any town in the world where transvestite prostitutes are.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's a pretty niche-y thing.
It's a pretty niche thing. So he was driving in this place where they are. And while he was stopped, she came to his window. So he had slowed down sufficiently that the transvestite prostitute could come to his window, look inside, see his wallet and his phone. The transvestite prostitute climbed into his car to rob him. Just to rob him and force him to drive to a specific address. So drive me to this address or you don't get your phone and your wallet back. Then, when he dropped the transvestite prostitute at said address, it was 200 euros taken from his wallet.
Okay.
Now, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure a Divine Brown situation with a transvestite prostitute going rate in Paris very possibly could be 200 euros. I'm just saying, there's a lot of things here that are very fishy.
But they say that part of Paris as well is known as like the red light district.
Well, I mean, where's a transvestite prostitute?
I mean, a transvestite prostitute, not just a prostitute. You gotta know what's cooking.
And driving him long enough that...
It was a rendezvous.
Well...
No, Flip.
It was a rendezvous pants, that's what I'm saying.
It was a rendezvous, more like... So, Flip van der Merwe, have you ever been in a team where somebody...
got robbed by a
transvestite prostitute, having stopped long enough for them to reach in and grab a wallet from a professional athlete who should be stronger than most people on earth?
I've never been in a situation like that. Also, very fortunately, South African team very much keep the lights off. But we have been warned when the first time we went to play Argentina in Buenos Aires to not necessarily bring anyone back to the hotel, because a previous team, I'm not going to say, but they might be a very good international team from New Zealand. Some people over, and they got apparently also like emptied out their room. The particular people who brought back the ladies. Wow. Little sleeping tablet, woke up, even they get everything robbed.
Holy smokes. But that's gonna happen, especially with those guys. I mean, we're not naming them, but they are from wherever Jacinda won't let people out. I'm not saying what country they're from and how many sheep are there versus people, whatever. That's not what I want to mention about them. But you got to say, listen, if you are from that particular country, not much variety. I mean, not many people want to go there. Tough to get to. Everybody looks the same. It's very grim. So when you do get out, and I've been to Argentina, let me tell you something. As a black guy in Argentina, one of the things which I hadn't experienced, and I lived in Russia, was people wanting to lick my face. So I'm pretty sure there is that when they are sexually into you, they are into you, and they will express it, by the way. That happened a lot in Argentina to me.
Why does this keep happening to PSG players, though? They keep getting robbed. I mean, not too long ago, Di Maria got taken off mid-game because his family had been held up at home. This keeps happening to them.
What's going on in Paris? What? Maybe they need to get more hydrogen cars. And also, can we talk about... I know why it keeps happening. I know what it's about. Let's be honest, Flip, I know you live in France now, and probably all of the rich guys who are funding whatever you're trying to do in terms of saving the world live in Paris, but it does stink. Let's be honest, it stinks.
Bourgeoisie.
It's horrible.
It is horrible.
Yeah, it does stink. If rich guys want to fund me, I will open big pockets. Gentlemen, I will have to greet you. I actually have to continue my little adventure.
That's cool. Keep saving the world.
The time is run out fast.
Yeah.
But we see each other next week.
And listen, if a lady do not slow down. Put more hydrogen. If somebody comes up and they want to talk to you in a certain part of Paris. All right, Flip, good stuff. That is the long lunch. You're a friggin' legend out there, bro.
Thank you, guys.
But my thing is about that, as you say, you're right. Because you're one of the most recognizable faces, and you just moved different. I want to know what he said to his wife and kids.
See, I don't want to judge Under Herrera. If he's into transvestite prostitutes, that's not the problem here, right? That's not the problem. Call them to a hotel room, which I think Under Herrera is on £300,000 a week after moving for free from Man United.
Uber X, dog. Uber Black.
No. Stay in a hotel. Order Airbnb. A house. Airbnb house.
Book it under your agent's name.
And then listen, I don't know if I can say this, but let me tell you, professional sportsmen have people who book women for them. Get someone to go and get a transvestite prostitute for you.
He was being robbed, guys. He was being robbed.
Are we being insensitive?
Of his dignity, yes.
He was being robbed.
Of his dignity.
Of his pants.
of his belt.
Of his STD-free status.
Wow.
That's what he's getting robbed of.
Transvestite prostitute, they will get you.
So wait. So you ever?
Oh, you think that's his thing? How cool is that? Versatile midfielder, hey, takes on a whole new definition.
I'm gonna make a terrible joke
Box
before
to
anything.
box.
You got Jesus. What would a transvestite? Anyway. I think that's the son. I see
Also, you don't know if he's
people
trans man or
circling
trans woman.
No, that's
Facebook now called Meta.
Meta. Well, I mean,
They're not the first ones to do it. Meta World Peace did it.
Yes.
Meta on it. So
yeah, because he punched people in the stadium.
On Facebook,
Malice
is
in the
EPOD
Palace.
involved?
Did you see the USA have issued the first gender-neutral passport?
Is that on Meta?
No, we're just wrapping up all our thoughts.
Oh,
Friday.
okay. We're just
wrapping up
throwing
our
things
thoughts.
out. We're not going to link it. All right.
No, doesn't
Now
make
we need
sense.
to be careful there. Meta's just the holding company. Facebook is fine, folks. It's still going to be called Facebook. It's just the holding company is Meta. So relax. I know to all of the people at home who, I don't know, maybe you know it's tough. Maybe you just broke up with your lady and now you're looking at your old photos. And then you came there and you saw an article. Bloody hell. I don't have a login for Meta. Don't worry about it. Facebook's fine. You can still go and cry into your pillow alone because she left you for a better guy. That's fine. Just go and look at the photos online. It's okay. Don't let Paolo... it was just a thought wrap-up. It wasn't to say Zuckerberg's going away now. Zuckerberg, alien? Possibly. Probably. But there was some other stuff reported where he wants glasses, Ray-Bans. Not sure if you've seen those, Paolo. Ray-Bans that will just basically make you not have to think ever again.
Yeah. But, you know, people were shooketh.
Yep.
Remember when Instagram took away the likes?
So that was Zuckerberg. That's when he bought it.
Yeah. So they thought he was going to do the same thing.
Is social media everything, huh?
Well, so listen, this whole move to... we're not even going to start the conversation about metaverse.
Yeah.
Which is... we're already in it.
Yeah, we are.
It's the next evolution.
Truman Show. It's the Truman Show already.
And this is all over a girl.
Yeah.
Who's the girl?
This is where Facebook all started. They were rating...
Because of a girl.
Oh, I haven't seen the movie, but...
Well, no, that's the story of Facebook. The book, Accidental Billionaires. They that's how Facebook started, was to rate
girls.
The hottest girls on campus. That's how the skeleton of Facebook
started. And then in the film, he gets drunk because the girl that he likes turned him down and he just goes off at her.
That's
dramatization.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
But read the book Accidental Millionaires. It's the Facebook story.
Was it the von Winklevoss twins that wrote it?
Winklevoss.
They're the richest Bitcoin. They own the most Bitcoin in the world, the two of them.
Winklevoss. Didn't they crew at the Olympics?
I've got no idea. I don't know this stuff.
They did.
I just want to look at old photos of hot chicks.
They were at...
What you guys... You think I'm investigating Mark Zuckerberg and von Winklevoss?
Yeah.
Didn't he play for Norwich?
That was...
Van Hussel's what?
All right, to you guys in the back, I see James a little worried. Oh my goodness, will this mean I won't be able to put my Vibes photos on because Facebook's dying? Yeah, there he is. That's James panicking.
I can't. I haven't been able to actually go on Facebook for the last 5 days.
Oh, it's not Facebook, it's Meta.
I haven't been able to go onto Meta for the last 5 days.
It's not Meta, it's just the holding company.
I haven't been able to go onto Facebook, which is part of the holding company called Meta for the last 5 days.
I got you, Jimbo. It's tough stuff.
Oh my God, you got me.
I've been brutal. I've been brutal on you. My mom said don't be so harsh on James. So James, I just want to make it clear. Let's close the show this way. Ryan, congratulations to you for surviving, having been born and living in Devilsdorp still. James, I just want to say this, dude. I'm really, really, really sorry for getting caught for what I said.
Inception.
Is that fair?
Sure.
I think it's fair. All right, gentlemen.
I think it's Friday. It's been a long week, and I'm just willing to move on.
Yeah, James, Mr. 4:15 a.m. now. You cannot believe how much this guy whinges when I call him. It's like you'd think he'd be used to it by now. It's been 4 days. But James is getting it in the gym. I got a positive message from Brad Phillips, who will join us on Monday. We'll do a recap.
Was it a positive one?
Sorry?
You still haven't told me what he said.
I'm trying to turn it around. I mean, it wasn't that positive.
Oh.
No, it was positive. I got you again. I got you again, James.
I'm just going to go home and cry.
I got you again, James. He said you're doing well. And he said you actually didn't whinge that much this morning. So that's actually what he said. I'm not making up. He said good stuff this morning. And I was like, oh, it doesn't make sense that he's late, which is annoying because I woke him up at 4:15. But he was positive.
We do have bizarre conversations at 4:15 in the morning.
Yeah, we do.
The other morning was DJ Khaled.